All right, guys, welcome back to another edition of the Stanley Parable 2. I know, so shocking. 3 weeks in a row of videos. I mean, again, assuming I edit these all one time. I mean, I don't know. But yeah, no, it's been, you know, weeks since I played this because I'm trying to save these for the streams. So even though I get an itch to play these, I thought it'd be fun to try to kind of go along this with you instead of, you know, showing you what I found or different things. I might start doing it on my own time because it's so hard to put it off for a week or whatever. But now, yeah, let's hop in and see what we can do from here. So obviously, every time I exit the game, it's going to start over. And so let's see what we can do. So just gonna play this new one and let's see a different path.
Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow. Very lucky indeed. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Where do we go? There will be a reward for finding them all. Oh, these are ideas for Stanley Parable 2. Let's see.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket.
I will not let it have the bucket. As we learned in the last episode, the bucket is everything.
Closet, coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished?
You keep getting locked out of the previous path.
And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Oh, I'm most definitely crazy. I mean, look.
Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze.
Yeah, I'm definitely going in a circle.
That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this.
He's lying to me.
Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious.
Oh, that's chirpy.
Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad.
This is chirpy.
Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me!
I'm coming!
Bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me.
Clearly, none of these are my bucket.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Oh. Oh.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
No.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket.
I was crazy.
Of course,
I was crazy all along.
Ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes,
Yes, because the bucket is everything.
My life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
She backflipped all the way to work. That's awesome. All right. Let's see what new path we can find. Because that one was interesting.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I'm going to still take the
It takes a lot
bucket.
of humility to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him,
Yes.
telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
No. But I don't want to go where you want me to go. You forced me here. All right. Well, we're back in this room. Oh, is that not a bubblehead? Huh. It's like some mystery. Interesting.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines. And now I'm torn between Stanleys and Figleys. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Found 4 of them. I'm in the executive bathroom. This is nice. Huh. I don't think they want me to pick up anything else. Must be more to this. Oh, whoa. Going up. I don't think I've ever taken this path before. So, because guys, I've played this game before, but I've never, you know, I've never tried to go all the paths. This game, I used to play it when I would get home from work. I got this game idea from a YouTuber. His name is Call Me Kevin. Is that the narrator singing? Kind of a bop. Not gonna lie. It's definitely the narrator. Greatest single of the year. Not gonna lie. Taylor Swift can suck it. Oh, I guess I didn't hit the light properly. Is this literally? Oh. Alright. So we're going down. I don't want to go where he wants me to go. That's exactly what he'd want me to do. See? Clearly, it's not a real elevator. Clearly. Huh. Fine. Let's go to the boss's office. That's what they'd want me to do. Huh.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it.
I am the most expensive
the two of them
boss.
were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of
money.
simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
I guess play with the controller.
But Stanley guessed
It's
that
easiest for me.
by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was
Yep.
the bucket guiding him?
The bucket's all knowing.
This
Come
is
on,
certainly
narrator.
the most logical explanation.
I think last time. Well, let's just get down the elevator first.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Alright, so a little bit of behind the curtain type stuff here. As I was recording that last video, I got a call from my wife, and I totally forgot to unmute my microphone when I was done. I don't know why I even muted it in the first place. But anyways, I thought that as I was doing a recording for the next video, as you can see I'm in a different shirt right now, that I'd finish up this video by going down that same path, finishing up the story, doing a little bit of reacting because it's been a week, so I don't remember exactly everything. And then we'll go from there. But yeah, I've gotten us to the point where we're at, and then I'm just going to kind of choose as I go along. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. See if we can get any random endings and whatnot. And here we go. So
Plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right.
I'll be all
The
right.
bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything
is.
will be fine.
Finally, you're understanding, narrator. We don't need to get rid of the bucket. We need to get rid of you.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Do I press the button? Do I do it? I don't know what else I'd do.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed
I've
with
seen this
television
before.
screens.
This is
What
in the original
horrible
game.
secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently,
It's all in place.
reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control. Never!
Never!
He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one.
The bucket is all.
For the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
So sassy.
But at the last
Turning it on.
the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again. Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over.
They figured out how to get more random, I'll tell you. They really did figure out how to get more random.
To disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never
all about
found
the bucket.
freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
The bucket knows where to go. It is the true guide. Alright guys, well, like I said, that was another video. Sorry about the kind of jarring cut there where I'm suddenly wearing a purple shirt. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. That's another week of videos, of a video, I should say. And I'm really enjoying these. The Stanley Parable is just such a random game, and it's so much fun to be able to kind of have one of these random games and just kind of go through a story rather than try to figure out ways to entertain you myself. Because, you know, sometimes it's fun to just show you guys the game. But anyways, glad you guys could check out another week of this video. I'm going to do, I think, another week, maybe 2 of these videos, and we'll see where it goes from there. See how you guys like them. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed that video, please like, comment, subscribe, you know, all the good stuff. And I will talk to you soon. See ya.